Peace to everyone out there. I genuinely, uh, enough respect and all of that. I am just dropping a little quick video on the upcoming Wilder Fury fight, and the media is Wilder for Tyson Fury. I don't know if you noticed, but I've noticed that the media really is giving Tyson Fury all the love and encouragement it can to beat uh, Deontay Wilder. And to check it to see whether or not I was just being overly sensitive, I put both their names in Google, just their last name, and then hit news. And I found stories where Fury is giving his opinion. I found two stories, if not three, where Fury is giving his opinion on the fight when I searched for Wilder on the front page of Google in news. But when I do it the opposite way, I don't find any stories where Wilder is giving his opinion on Fury. You know, so to me, and this is not like coming off of Fury's pages and whatnot. This is coming out of news agencies. So I think that there's a little bit of that there's some want for Wilder to be defeated, and I can't understand why, because as far as I can tell, he's a very nice guy, likable guy. He's not political. It's not like he's on the Ali side of things. Making political statements and speaking about human rights and civil rights and all of that type of stuff. So where's all this coming from? But when I reflect in fighting in general, not so much, not as much in boxing, but in the MMA, man, it's like it's like a time warp in MMA. You look at the Demetrius Johnson situation with the UFC. I think that's a classic example where they just didn't support the guy. It wasn't that he wasn't excited, and it wasn't that he wasn't dominant. He was dominant for a long time in his weight class as a champion, and they'll use the excuse, well, he wasn't exciting to the people, and that whole weight class needed to go, and so on and so forth. But it didn't need to go when Henry Cejudo beat him, and Henry Cejudo is a hell of a fighter. This is not taking anything away from him, but or his accomplishments. Because he reckoned shop, one weight class higher, and then but still being the champ, down in the lower weight class is a game changer, and I recognize that. So I give him the props for saving that weight class with the UFC, but the UFC could have supported Demetrius Johnson, and one of the clear signs that they didn't was they weren't even giving him his belts for his title defenses. There were several belts in the rear on the title defenses, and then when they want him to fight somebody, they don't respect his decision. They just expect that he's going to do whatever it is that they tell him to do. And when he stood up for himself, now it's a problem. Now, we don't even need this weight class. What are we doing with this weight class? We're going to trade you off so we can send a message to everybody else. We're going to sell you to a different plantation. No offense to people who he's fighting with now. But I'm trying to draw the parallel that this stuff goes on. Tyron Woodley, same thing. Tyron Woodley stood up for himself when he was the champion, and he was vilified in the UFC. In fact, it was said, I forget who said it, but it ain't hard to find. You can find it. Uh, Somebody from within inside the UFC office said that they were rooting against Tyron Woodley in the office. Like, it was not just like the individuals, but it was like company culture. We want to get rid of Tyron Woodley, you know. And I forget who he was fighting at that particular point, but he smoked that dude. He totally destroyed him. Versus, say, like McGregor. You know, McGregor is the champ. Hey, no problem, man. You know, they give him his way. They let him do his thing. They promote him. They let him make his money, build his brand, you know. And look where he took not only himself, but he took the organization. The organization made a lot of money off of McGregor, but they don't want to make the money off of these other fighters. They treat these other fighters, you know, as slaves. And the UFC is bad for that in general, you know, with the pay. The pay is actually disgusting for people who risk their lives for our entertainment. 16% of the gross is absolutely ridiculous. And I support the fighters across the board with the Ali Act, the expansion of the Ali Act to cover MMA so that they can get, you know, proper compensation for what they do. But as far as this Deontay Wilder Fury thing goes, I just felt like I needed to speak on it and give my opinion. And if you guys feel like I'm tripping, I would say just go to Google and drop Wilder in and click on news and see what pops up on your end. And then if you have an inkling to do it, let me know in the comments, you know. But I found videos where Fury was commenting on Wilder when I searched for Wilder's name. But when I did Fury, I didn't find any videos going back the other way. And I've been seeing a lot of stories where, you know, Fury is getting this positive pub and, you know, a lot of interviews and things like that. And I'm wondering, why is this not happening in equal shares? You know, again, you see it a lot in UFC promotions. UFC is absolutely, I mean, they're blatant with it. You can see the promos that they do, and you know exactly who they want to win in the fight, because they play up the one personality and the other one is barely mentioned. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all take it easy. Love you for free.